Hey everyone, it's Mandi, the board gaming pinup girl, and I'm here at Gen Con 2017. We are here with IDW, and I am here with Jessey Wright. Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too.
So today, first game we're going to talk about is The Legend of Korra. So Caryl is behind the camera, and I know she is very excited for this one. So, tell me about it. I actually don't know as much about it as Caryl does. So.
Great. Well, Legend of Korra Pro Bending Arena. Okay. What we've done is we've taken the pro bending sport that happens in the first few episodes of season 1,
okay,
where 3 benders, one earth, water, and fire, match off against each other in a game of tug of war with each other.
Okay.
So the goal of pro bending is to use your elemental attacks to knock the opposing team off the back of the arena and into the drink.
Oh, cool.
The way you do that in the game is just like the way it happens in the show. Okay. You throw elemental tokens at each other,
okay,
and your opponent gets a chance to dodge or maybe throw tokens there to block and counter them.
Okay.
And every token they don't deal with is going to knock that bender back 1 space.
Oh, neat. Okay.
Which means 3 tokens and you're gone.
And you're done.
That's all it takes.
Nice. What's the time of gameplay?
When you know how the game plays, once you're experienced, 30 minutes.
Okay, and are there additional variants to make it more difficult?
Yeah. Well, it's competitive, right?
Right.
But we've got lots of depth, so I'll get there in a sec.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm rushing.
No, it's okay. You're excited. I'm excited.
I'm always excited.
So excited. So the way you actually interact with this system is through some light deck building.
Okay.
So you got a starter deck of 6 cards. You draw 3 of them in your hand, okay, and on your turn you play all 3 cards. When you play a card, you just resolve the icons from top to bottom.
Okay, I'm just going to do a quick little for a little zoom action. Perfect.
Awesome. So these cards will let you do things like move. Move is actually not optional.
Okay.
If you get a move icon, you gotta move your bender into a space beside them. Movement's always left to right, never across the lines, just like in pro bending. You get attacks. These are the most important and most common things.
Okay.
You got a power, it's how many tokens you take in your hand, and a range. It's how many spaces away you can put that attack. You can also use attacks to defend yourself. If you've got opposing element tokens in your zone,
right,
you pop an attack in there, they counter 1-to-1. So every time you're looking at an attack, you've got this little choice. Do I use it to attack, or do I use it to defend?
Okay.
When you're done playing through all your cards, you go to the market phase. You got some chi that you've been earning through the game. You spend it to buy one of the cards in your market. Or maybe you wait and save it up. When you buy a card, it goes right to the top of your deck. So then you draw it into your hand in preparation for your next turn.
Right.
There's 2 things. One, this is a super awesome card. It's more powerful than anything I started with. I get to use it right away.
Okay.
But you, my astute opponent, now knows I have this card in my hand for my next turn.
That's right.
So if you're thinking at the next level, you can take that into account and maybe play around it.
Interesting. I only seen that in another game, Aeon's End, where they had the card and you put it on top of the deck, and that was weird for me because you shuffle, you don't know what's happening, that element of surprise, but here it gives you a bit of planning and your opponent gives them that little edge up.
That's right. Another cool thing that we did to innovate a tiny bit on deck building is when you get to the end of your deck and you're going to shuffle it, just before you shuffle your deck, you may, if you want, go through your discard pile and remove one of those cards from the game.
Okay.
So we built that sort of cleaning up your engine, making it smoother right into the system. So your team's getting better and more focused as you're playing back and forth, beating each other up. And that's the basics of play. There's a couple of other icons that do a couple of other neat things, but mostly you throw tokens at each other, you defend yourself. If you can't figure it out, you get knocked back. Every turn's a mini puzzle.
Which is amazing. So normally, people who know the type of games that I play, this is not something that I would gravitate toward, but lately I've been really feeling a lot of these deck builders or games that have this kind of competition because it's not done maliciously. I don't know if that makes sense. There are some games that are very negative and it really turns people off. This, I think everyone has a fair chance.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of the time when I have issues with.
Yeah, that's right.
You know?
And when you get in a situation and it goes badly for you, you feel like your opponent outsmarted you, like they beat you, they earned it, right? Yeah, and so we got, as you'd asked before about, more variants, more ways to play. So this is the basic experience. If you cracked open the box, just played with the decks as they are, the starter stuff, you face off just like this.
Okay.
You and your opponent are getting into it and you're like, you know what? I want more game.
Oh.
And that's great because we're going to throw more game in the starter box.
I like this.
This is a deck builder with private markets, right?
Okay.
You can customize these markets.
Right.
So you have duplicates of all of the cards. So you could, instead of relying on the whims of fate to feed you the tools that you're going to need when the situations you're going to need them, you can build these decks so each of your benders has a particular job, has a role.
Right.
You know exactly what cards are coming through. So it's sort of a deck building game.
Exactly.
But we also have trick cards. So when you're building your teams, you can you get the advanced level of play. You get 3 tricks that you can add to your team. There's 16 to choose from.
Okay.
They're once per game, really powerful effects that you'll have to choose when's the best time to put them into play.
Right.
So there's a lot of flexibility in building your teams. And then we have 4 more teams, design, balance, ready to go as part of the Kickstarter. Once those teams start getting in there, now you can start doing fantasy teams.
Right.
I'm going to pick any 3 benders and put them together on sort of a hypothetical team and make it my own.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
I like that aspect to it. See, I like games where you can change it up a little bit. It's not constantly the same battle. It's boring. So it's nice when you add those surprise elements.
So for Avatar fans that are out there, this is something that this is what I'm allowed to say.
Okay.
All right. But I'm so excited. I got to say something. You'll know that the episode when the Fire Ferrets and the Wolf Bats have their face-off for the tournament championship, it's got an exciting, explosive conclusion.
Oh.
As a game designer, it's taken that into account when we were designing this game, and you're just going to have to follow the Kickstarter and see how we tied that in to this experience.
So, would you say, like someone like me, I'm not really familiar with the story, but someone like Caryl, who is very familiar with the story, would you have the same experience in the game?
So if you're not familiar with this, with Legend of Korra, you're gonna have this really cool, awesome head-to-head arena combat game.
Okay.
And if you are familiar with Avatar and Legend of Korra, all sorts of notes from the show are gonna come through. Each of the characters, we built them with unique decks to try and capture a bit of their personality.
Okay.
Each of the teams captures a bit of their characteristics. For instance, the Wolf Bats in the show are notorious cheaters. We actually have them cheating in the game, as well as a referee deck where they can get yellow fans or not, get called on their cheating and stuff like that. So there's like there's something for everybody in this.
Okay, and that's exactly why I bring that up, because as someone who maybe doesn't know as much, do I need to now go back and like watch episodes or watch the story, or can I get that through the game?
You can get a bit of that through the game, but I'm sure it's going to feel so awesome. You're going to be like, you know what? I got to check out this show. And in fact, you got to check out this show.
There you go. I have to check out the show.
You got to check it out.
So any other tidbits, or definitely coming to Kickstarter? Anything else you wanted to add for us today?
Yeah, no, I think that's everything.
Covered it all. I think that is a lot of good stuff right there. So September
6th.
Mark it on your calendars. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been a charm.
See you next time.